Men, listen carefully. This one is uncomfortable but necessary. If you've ever been in a situation where you tried to win a woman's affection, tried too hard, bent over backwards, or gave her constant attention only to feel her respect slipping away, you're not imagining it. It's real. And it's not about her being cruel. It's about psychology. It's about attraction. And it's about one immutable law. The harder you try to externally earn her validation, the less she respects you. Before I start, if you're new here, subscribe to Stoic Power Codes. This channel is for men who want to master themselves, understand women, and navigate life with emotional control and purpose. If you want to attract respect and alignment rather than temporary affection, you need to hear this. Let me begin with a truth I learned the hard way. Early in my 20s, I was dating a woman who was intelligent, beautiful, and emotionally captivating. I thought I could win her over by being attentive, by pleasing her, by anticipating her every need. I gave her constant validation. I prioritized her feelings over my own, and I tried to mold myself to her expectations. At first, it seemed to work. She was interested, responsive, and affectionate. But over time, I noticed a shift. She began to question my decisions. She argued over small things, and she stopped respecting my opinions. She didn't feel grateful for my effort. She took it for granted. That's when I realized the more I tried to earn her, the less respect I commanded. I wasn't losing her because I lacked love or care. I was losing her because I had surrendered my internal authority. And that's the core of this lesson. Attraction and respect are not earned by effort or validation. They are earned by presence, purpose, and emotional mastery. Let's break this down. Women are naturally attuned to energy, not words. They read subtle signals: how you carry yourself, how you react under pressure, how you maintain your priorities. When a man becomes overly eager, desperate to please, or reactive to her moods, he communicates insecurity, and women instinctively respond by losing respect. It's not conscious, it's biological, it's primal. I remember a relationship where I tried to constantly win her over through gifts, texts, and emotional labor. At first, she was flattered, but slowly she stopped being attracted. I started noticing her eyes wander, her tone shift, her interest wane. She didn't say it aloud, but her energy told the story. She no longer saw me as a man with his own gravity. I had become a satellite orbiting her needs. And women don't respect satellites, they respect planets. Here's the psychological principle men fail to understand. Attraction is drawn to independence, purpose, and calm composure. Effort, validation, and excessive attention are signals of dependence. The more you try to earn her approval, the more you are implicitly communicating, "I need you to feel this way about me to validate my value." And women can feel this immediately. The result? Respect erodes, desire fades, and the dynamic flips. But let me clarify something important. I'm not saying you should ignore a woman or be cold. I'm not advocating cruelty or detachment for its own sake. What I am saying is that your internal life, your mission, your discipline, your emotional control is what truly attracts women. External displays of effort are secondary, often counterproductive. I learned this by shifting focus. Instead of trying to win her with attention, I focused on building my career, my routines, and my self-discipline. I became the man who had his own gravity, and the dynamic changed. She began respecting me naturally without me begging for it, without me over-explaining, without me sacrificing my purpose. This is where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism teaches that your peace and purpose must not be dictated by external forces. Your happiness, your energy, your respect, all must be rooted internally. When you understand this, women respond differently. They sense stability, they sense authority, and they sense independence. I've tested this repeatedly. Whenever I reacted emotionally to her mood swings, respect declined. Whenever I maintained composure and stayed aligned with my mission, respect increased, often dramatically. Let's talk about validation. Men think women crave compliments, gifts, and constant attention. That's partially true. Women do respond to acknowledgement, but only when it is non-need-based. The moment a man seeks validation from her in return, the dynamic shifts. She senses desperation, insecurity, and attachment to approval. Respect disappears. I had a girlfriend once who would joke about me being too clingy. I had been seeking her approval subtly in everything: my jokes, my schedule, my decisions. The more I tried to win her, the less she respected me. When I corrected the course, focusing on my life first, validating her only when appropriate, and never needing her validation, she started valuing me in a way she never had before. Here's another principle men miss. Women naturally test a man's frame. Tests are subtle: a comment about your past, a question about your intentions, a challenge to your opinion. The man who reacts emotionally, who explains himself excessively, who tries to justify, is failing the test. The man who holds his composure, remains aligned with his mission, and maintains his boundaries, passes without speaking. Women instinctively recognize this. Respect is maintained. Attraction deepens. Desire increases. Now let's talk about a deeper layer, the paradox of effort and attraction. The more you chase a woman's attention, the less you command it. The more you try to prove yourself, the less she sees your value. Women are wired to respond to men who are self-contained, who operate independently of her whims. I learned this with painful clarity when I tried to make up for perceived mistakes. I overcompensated with texts, calls, and reassurances. Her attention returned briefly, but respect dropped. Then I stopped chasing, focused on my purpose, and noticed a profound change. She respected me again, not because of anything I did to please her, but because I was anchored in myself. Let's examine a scenario that illustrates this perfectly. A woman expresses dissatisfaction about a minor issue, a comment, a delay, or a social interaction. The insecure man overreacts. He explains, justifies, and pleads. The stoic man observes, absorbs, and responds only if necessary, calmly, with clear boundaries. Women sense the difference instantly. They respect the man who is calm and decisive. They lose respect for the man who is reactive and eager to make things right. Here's the subtlety most men miss. Women do not inherently respect kindness or effort. They respect strength, integrity, and emotional sovereignty. I remember dating someone who constantly challenged me emotionally. I used to try to win her over with reassurance. Every effort diminished my authority. I had to step back, maintain emotional control, and allow her to experience my presence without seeking approval. Gradually, respect returned, attraction intensified, and the dynamic aligned in my favor. Another important truth: women crave leadership not in the form of dominance, but in the form of stability, purpose, and presence. A man who prioritizes her opinion over his mission signals weakness. A man who bends to her desires constantly signals low value. I experienced this firsthand. By aligning my priorities first to my goals and second to her needs, I became the anchor in the relationship. She began respecting me naturally, without manipulation, without coercion. Let's address the fear most men feel. Won't she leave if I don't try to win her? The truth is, the man who relies on effort and validation is already creating the conditions for her departure. Effort signals neediness. Neediness signals insecurity. Insecurity signals low value. The stoic man focuses on himself first. If she aligns, she respects him. If she does not, he does not crumble. This is not coldness, it's mastery. Another layer is subtle. Women often project their emotional states onto men. If a man reacts to these projections, respect erodes. I've been in situations where her insecurity or frustration triggered a knee-jerk emotional response in me. Every time I reacted, respect declined. Every time I stayed calm, centered, and mission-focused, the dynamic shifted. Emotional control is the invisible framework that sustains attraction. Let's dig deeper. Women value men who operate from principles, not emotion. If you constantly adjust your behavior to gain her approval, you are abandoning principle. I remember a moment when I wanted to agree with everything a woman suggested to maintain harmony. She appreciated the compliance initially, but slowly she lost respect. I realized that by prioritizing her validation, I was signaling low self-respect. Once I returned to acting according to my principles calmly, decisively, purposefully, she respected me again. The psychological underpinning is simple. Respect is linked to perceived strength and autonomy. Attraction is linked to independence, composure, and purpose. Women subconsciously recognize a man's submission to their validation, and submission kills respect. Here's a practical example from my life. I was dating a woman who constantly needed reassurance about my feelings. Initially, I gave it freely, thinking it would secure her affection. Within weeks, respect declined. I realized I had confused effort for value. I changed my approach. I maintained my routines, prioritized my goals, and offered validation only naturally, without need. Her respect returned. Attraction deepened. The dynamic aligned with the man I had become. Let's open another loop. Emotional control is inseparable from self-mastery. A man who cannot regulate his internal state is easily manipulated by external circumstances. Women respond to internal strength, not effort. I have repeatedly observed that men who maintain composure, purpose, and independence command far more respect than men who try to win love through attention, gifts, or validation. Now, consider long-term implications. Relationships founded on effort and external validation are fragile. Women may appreciate the gestures temporarily, but long-term attraction diminishes. Respect erodes, desire wanes. The Stoic approach ensures stability. By cultivating internal life routines, purpose, self-discipline, a man becomes unshakable. Women respond not to what he does for them, but to who he is. Here's another insight. The less you try to win her, the more she naturally aligns with your energy. I have tested this countless times. When I stopped reacting emotionally to tests, stopped chasing validation, and focused on my mission, women began investing in me naturally. They respected my boundaries, appreciated my presence, and aligned with my energy without force. Effort became unnecessary. Respect was automatic. Finally, let me emphasize the key takeaway. A woman's respect is proportional to a man's self-mastery, composure, and purpose. Effort, chasing, and validation-seeking reduce respect. Emotional control, independence, and alignment with purpose increase respect. This is not opinion, it's pattern recognition through observation, psychology, and personal experience. So, men, if you take one lesson from this video, let it be this. Focus on your internal life. Prioritize your purpose. Maintain emotional control. Stop trying to win her. Lead your own life, and respect will follow naturally. Attraction will deepen. Alignment will occur. If this message hit you, subscribe to Stoic Power Codes for more lessons on masculine mastery, stoicism, and understanding female psychology. This is where men learn to attract respect, maintain composure, and navigate relationships with clarity and purpose. Remember, respect is earned through presence, not effort. Attraction grows through independence, not validation. Your mission is your anchor. Emotional control is your sail. Live this way, and women respond naturally, instinctively, irreversibly. Stay grounded. Stay disciplined. Stay unshakable.